Alright, so apologize for the dark video. I'm out at night, and my popular spot that I go to film at, where a pool is closed. So I'm just gonna be out walking on this vlog. So I want to talk about casual relationships. You got to be really careful if you're going to get into a casual relationship with a girl, because you can easily catch feelings for a girl, and she might be able to catch feelings for you too, or she might catch feelings for you too during that relationship. But the dynamic might be easier for her to let go of, right? I think as men, as males, we get more attached to women. A lot of guys, a lot of people would disagree with that, but I think that because we have less power in this in the sexual market, most of us, we're not part of that 10%. Most of us are not part of that higher 10%, right? Of guys who have so many options, right? And I've seen guys over and over. I've seen guys get into relationships that might have started out kind of casual, or it might have just been real relationships where the guy got hurt because he wasn't emotionally ready to, not that he wasn't emotionally ready to be in a relationship, but he wasn't emotionally ready to let go of this girl that he was with. And I think that for a lot of girls, especially young girls, it's easy to come in and out of relationships. Their emotions, in my opinion, from my experience, don't work on the same level. They don't function the same way as man's emotions, right? So what does that mean in reality? Well, what that means is that it's easier for her to jump in and out of relationships. And you could call it riding the cock carousel. There's truth there. Sure, they're out sleeping around, they're out playing the field. But don't think they're not spinning plates too. Don't think they're not in a relationship as well as playing the field. And this is what I've seen a lot, like again and again, is that there's a lot of women who are able to jump in and out of relationships, able to turn on and off emotions in a certain way, because yes, they've got a lot of options. But also I think that female nature just isn't as deep as man's nature. Man is more possessive, I think. He's more like, this is mine, I don't want to lose her type of thing. From my experience, there's always going to be exceptions to that. There's always going to be a guy who, super player, out running through girls, getting in relationships, getting in and out of relationships. But I don't think that's the norm for most guys. I don't think most guys are able to do that. And I don't think it's just because of the sexual market value is higher in women. I think it's just a guy thing. I think it's because we're not used to being emotional. Women are used to being emotional, so they can be emotional about a guy, and they can lose that emotion and then not feel any emotion about him anymore. Whereas a guy, it's harder to turn our emotions on and off. So whereas a female might be able to get into a relationship, on an emotional standpoint, she could leave a relationship once her emotions turn off. And this is the challenge for a lot of guys, is we need to always be able to spike her emotions. And this is our challenge, because this is why so many divorces happen. Someone quoted a statistic, I think his name is Keith, I forgot his channel, but he's a MGTOW guy, and he was quoting divorce statistics. And he was talking about how 66, I think, percent of divorces are initiated by women. And he said in some cases, it's actually 75%. He said actually those statistics are between 66 and 75%. So 3 out of 4 marriages on average are, the divorce is initiated by the woman. So what does that mean? It means it's harder for a man to keep a woman interested for the long term. She has so many options, she gets bored, and I don't know, man, it's just female nature. But as I said before, it's easy for a woman to lose the attraction, lose the emotional connection. And it's easy for her to do that in multiple different ways. On the one hand, if you show her too much attention, she's going to feel like she's the prize and you're no longer the prize, and the male, female, masculine, feminine frame is going to be disrupted because you're paying her too much attention, right? On the one hand, right? On the other hand, if you're not paying her enough attention, right? So you're focusing on keeping that male, female, masculine, feminine frame, right? Then, she's going to feel like, well, he's not giving me enough attention. So it's like there's this balance that you have to tightrope on constantly, where you're not giving her too much attention, but you're not also not giving her enough attention, right? So not only do you have to give her attention, but you can't give her too much attention. It's this balance. But again, if you look at divorce statistics, it's like there's like 277 divorces every second or something nutty like that. Anyway, go check out that Keith guy's channel if you can. I forget his channel name, but I know his name is Keith. Gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue. I wish I could remember his channel, but he's a white guy with a beard. I think it has something to do with conservative, or something conservative in his conservative MGTOW. Anyway, his name is Keith, and you can look up divorce statistics Keith or something like that on YouTube and you'll find it. But he said it's like there's like 300 divorces every second. It's like divorces at 50+%, right? So that's 1 out of 2. So basically flip a coin, and that's your odds whether or not your marriage is going to last. Now, this is why a lot of guys are just simply not marrying in today's day and age. And that's probably smart in a way. And guys are learning how to play the game. And I've seen it, guys are learning how to, not get married, keep her at a distance, keep their frame. Guys are learning. Guys are picking up on what to do and what not to do. But that doesn't mean that she's not cheating, right? It doesn't mean that she's not still doing messed up crap on the side, because I've seen that too. I've seen guys who are doing everything right, keeping the masculine frame, not marrying her, not putting her on the lease, even making her pay rent, doing all these things, and she still cheats, right? Because she wandered, because he doesn't cuddle with her enough, or he doesn't show her enough affection, or that's just how he is, or this, that, and the third, right? So she's still cheating, and divorce is still 50+%, right? So you can't even get married. You can't even have marriage vows without, 50% of it going to shit. And she's initiating the breakup 60 to 75% of the time, which is basically 3 out of 4 relationships. The woman she doesn't feel fulfilled, or she wants to go fuck, or she wants to find someone else, or this, that, and the third. And then of course you have to factor in the whole, money equation, right? The whole money equation. So she might, women are just more casual. They're not the same as men as far as, relationships. They're not the same as men as far as relationships goes. We want solid love. We want this blue pill sort of love, and women just don't want that. And this is why the whole red pill was, invented in the first place. Female nature is fucked up. Female nature is a bitch, right? What's the common denominator, or I wouldn't even say the common denominator. What's the consistent thing that kind of changes all that? Well, finances. Okay, if you have a house, you have a place to live, then that changes everything. Your finances changes everything. So right now I'm walking through a neighborhood and there's all these houses everywhere. There's all these cars everywhere. There's all these people and they're all asleep because tomorrow morning they got to get up and they got to go to work. So, you know, what are they all doing? They're all in bed with their spouse. They're all in bed with their significant other. I'm sure not all of them are married, but most of them are. Or if they're not married, they're at least in a long-term relationship. So, but what is the common denominator here? What is the difference between all this? The difference is that these people have money. Okay? These people have money. Money is the common denominator here. Money is what is keeping them all in bed. Money is what is keeping them all in their little relationship. So if you don't have money, this whole thing isn't going to work. She's not going to be in your bed. She's not going to be your spouse. She's not going to be your long-term girlfriend. She's not going to be your wife. She's not going to give you kids because you don't have money, right? So what are all these guys doing? They figured it out. They said, oh, well, every time I walk down these neighborhoods, there's all these houses, and all these houses have people in them, and all these people have spouses. So what's the common denominator here? Oh, I gotta get a house. I gotta live in a neighborhood. I gotta have money, because if that happens, then the woman is gonna be with me, right? And that's kind of true. That's kind of true, you know, but you have to say, in the back of your mind, you have to think, what if I don't have this house? What if I can't afford a house? What if I don't have money? What if I don't have the ability to provide for her? Then what? Is she still going to be with me? And that's where female nature's a bitch. That's where the red pill comes in and you're like, oh shit. Well, many guys just deal with it. Many guys just suck it up and just say, oh, well, that's the common denominator. As a man, or, you know what, however they figure it out, they say, I got to make money so I can have a wife. And that's it. And that's what they do, because they don't want to be alone. They don't want to be lonely. And it's tempting. You know, I've been there. I've thought about it. I mean, I'm there now. You know, is there any way that I could make money? Is there any way that I could figure out how to get my own place so that I could get a woman? Right? And that's what it is. That's what a real relationship is. A real relationship is contingent upon you having money. Doesn't mean she's not going to cheat. Doesn't mean she's not going to divorce you. Doesn't mean she's not going to leave. Okay? Particularly in today's day and age, where she can easily go out and work on her own. She doesn't necessarily need your financial support, your financial stability. She can go out and she can pay her own way. Then she'll just leave you, right? So this is today's day and age, right? So women can do things now, like in the famous Anchorman movie. You know, Danny Trejo, the bartender with Will Ferrell. Women can do things now, right? Well, they can. They can go out and they can leave you and they can get divorced and decide they want to go ride the cock carousel some more, or decide they want to be with a different guy, or decide, right? So there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee even if you have money, right? So it would be smarter and safer for a guy to just say, well, I'm not going to go try to provide for her. I'm not going to go try to do this and that. You know, I'm just going to try to find love. But then you have to think, is love real? Because if her love is contingent upon me having a house and me having money, then I don't think love is really real. And these are the things that fuck with me. These are the things that mess with my head, because I'm like, oh shit, you know, well, I've been sick. I haven't been able to provide and things like that. And it just never worked out for me. And women have responded accordingly. They've looked at my financial status and my social status, and they've said, okay, well, this guy isn't, you know, what I want because of that. Not to say I'm not good looking, not to say I'm not tall or in shape or this, that, and the third, which they've been attracted to. So because of that, I was able to get women into bed. But when it comes to long-term relationships, most aren't interested. Why? Because of female nature. Because female nature dictates and says, okay, hey, you know, I want a guy who's going to be able to take care of me if I have kids. I want a guy who's going to be able to take care of me for the rest of my life and provide me with security, right? So their love is conditional upon that. And that's where it's like, damn, I don't know, man. Is it worth it? Is it, You know, so it's like when you go through these relationships and you're like, oh, okay, well, I had a bad relationship. She didn't want to be with me because I couldn't provide for her. You think, well, man, maybe I can make up for that. Maybe I can, work and make more money, and then I can get a woman to love me. But then you think, damn, is that what I have to do? Like, I can't just be myself. I can't just be who I am. And it's like, wow, damn. I don't know, man. It's like the whole world is like that, though. The whole world, as a man, quote unquote, you go out and you earn money and you take care of your kids. This is what they consider a man. And this is what women want and they're attracted to because of their hypergamous nature, because of their nature that says, I want a guy to provide me with security. So it's like, damn, the red